Government through the East African Affairs Ministry has written to the Parliament of Kenya demanding that its legislators apologize for allegedly abusing Uganda President Yoweri Museveni. Last week, some Kenyan MPs threatened to stage demonstrations in Kampala if the Kadondo East MP Robert Kyagulanyi aka Bobi Wine was not released within a week's period. Kyagulanyi was arrested alongside over 33 others on allegations that they had stolen Museveni's convoy. The suspects have since been charged with treason and granted bail. With allegations of torture of the suspects, particularly Kyagulanyi and Mityana MP Francis Zake, daily demonstrations erupted in Uganda and abroad, with Kenyan youth being very vocal over the issue, arguing that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Kyagulanyi was initially charged with illegal possession of firearms and ammunition in an army court in Gulu and remanded to Makindye military barracks in Kampala. The charges against the MP were later dropped, but he was subsequently charged in the magistrates' court with treason. Kenyan lawmakers including Jared Okolonayando, Bobi Wine Mbakazi East and Gideon Kita, nominated of the Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association, said they would first stage a protest against the arrest and torture of Kyagulanyi at the Ugandan embassy in Kenya before escalating it into Uganda. Now, ruling party lawmakers in Uganda are demanding that action be taken against the Kenyan MPs for what they called meddling into the affairs of a sovereign state. East African Affairs State Minister Julius Maganda Wanderer told the Parliamentary Committee on East African Community Affairs yesterday that action had already been taken against the Kenyan MPs. Unsatisfied by the minister's verbal action-taken statement, Rukika woman MP Caroline Kamusi insisted on knowing what action had been taken against the MPs, whom she said used abusive language to the person of the President of Uganda, which to her was unacceptable. After the recent protests, the Kenyans including MPs came out and abused our president, but nothing was done by the ministry. They were demanding our president to free Bobi Wine. Free Bobi Wine? As who? Kamusi said. Daily Nation reported that while addressing the press on August 15 at Parliament Building in Nairobi, the lawmakers said they would speak out against abuse of human rights being meted out on Kyagulanyi and others following their arbitrary arrest in Arua. Maganda said his ministry had, through the Uganda Parliament Speaker Rebecca Kadaga, written to Kenyan Parliament over that matter. The minister concurred with Kamusi that the reaction that emerged from MPs of Kenya calling for the release of the Ugandan MPs who had been arrested due to the violence in Arua was more or less undermining the position of the President of Uganda when they were using abusive language. We as the ministry have already taken note of the comment, which doesn't sound so well at bilateral level where it is supposed to be encouraging Ugandans, Kenyans and East Africans, where we allow each partner state to keep its sovereignty and governance as much as we operate under a treaty for the establishment of the EA community, Maganda said. We have written through the Speaker of Parliament to address her fellow Speaker of Kenya so that they can make these MPs of Kenya to understand the rules of procedure and the diplomatic relationships and the messages that should be done, especially when they are meant to address issues that pertain to the other state, Maganda added. He threatened that if the Kenyan Parliament does not take action against the legislators, the ministry would not hesitate reaching Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta for redress. And we want a comment to come out officially, either to retract that statement of the MPs or to apologize, or else we might seek through our embassy to have these matters placed before the President of Kenya. We are not taking this matter lightly as a country and as a ministry. We are taking it as a serious matter, Maganda said. Maganda, however, said the action demanded by the ministry would not negatively affect the two countries' relationship, but there was need for Kenyan MPs to understand diplomacy. We want the MPs of Kenya to understand and appreciate that there is a diplomatic way how they should address matters that pertains to a partner state where you don't have a bigger jurisdiction in their decision-making, Maganda said.